Hey everyone, today on Sonia's Sweet and Spicy Kitchen, we are going to embrace the flavors of summer with an amazing salsa verde that you can make quick and easy right from your kitchen. So let's get started. Hey everyone, what do you call the flavors of summer? Well, I call them salsa and chips, and that's what we're going to do today. Today on Sonia's Sweet and Spicy Kitchen, we're going to make a chili verde, also known as green salsa recipe, with some awesome flavors, some summer attitude, and some whipping and dipping and chopping and slicing. So let's get started. And I'm bringing you today our super easy, very simple salsa verde recipe that you can do at home using some basic ingredients that you can find at your market. Now, before we get started, I just want to tell you that if you want to get my channel into your feed to start your weekend and your day, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. You can go ahead and do that. Give us a thumbs up after this or during this video, and that helps us get some great YouTube cred. So we're going to be making a chili verde recipe, which is very simple to do as long as you have a blender or food processor and some basic ingredients. Some of this we're going to use during our prep, and some of this we're going to add to our chili verde afterwards. So first of all, to make a green chili verde, you're going to need tomatillos. I decided to go ahead, whenever I do this, to use the canned. You can also get the tomatillos at your grocer. If you have a grocer that carries them, you can get them and you can roast them on the stove or in the oven. But if you're like me, you're busy, and as much as I love the taste of roasted tomatillos, I don't have time to roast them and stuff like that. Now, I probably would do that more so in the winter, but during these summer days, it's hot out and we got things going on. So I will go ahead and get this size is about 28 ounces. There's different brands you can get. And of course, I get the ones that are whole. They're whole right in the jar, and they come with juice. And of course, I've saved some of the juice instead of using water to thin it out if it gets too thick in your blender. We're gonna go ahead and make a small batch, just enough to fill this size bowl. And you can always double this. And of course, I never make this the same each time. Sometimes it's a little warmer, sometimes it's a little more, it's got more cilantro in it or whatever. But this is a super easy recipe that you can do in a matter of just a few minutes. So you can use a food processor. I chose to use a blender today because it's just a little easier. I can always pour this out, and the cleanup is a little easier too. You can always use a food processor if you're making larger batches, but today we're gonna go ahead and use my blender. So the ingredients are pretty to the point. We've got our tomatillos, which we've got here. We've got Roma tomato. We've got lime, because that always adds a great nutty flavor to things. We've got, of course, our Sonya sweet and spicy pickled sweet candied jalapeno peppers. We've got garlic. You can use fresh or you can use minced. We have Himalayan salt, which I like to use. Onions. We have chopped onions, and we have onions. We're gonna do a little two-part to that, and you'll see how we do that in a little bit. And of course, we've got cilantro. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start adding this to the blender. And I'm gonna tell you right now, what I'm smelling here is aromatic amazingness. So I wanna show you a little trick real quick. Whenever you have a lime, and before you cut it, go ahead, take it, put it on the counter, and kind of smash and roll it a little bit right on the counter. Just do that, and what you're doing is you're loosening up the juices inside, so you're gonna go from maybe something that's kind of hard to something that you can sort of start pushing your fingers in, and this will get those juices really loosened up. So that's a little trick that I do. I'm gonna start adding these to my blender. Make sure that your bottom is nice and tight, because you don't want this to go all over your counter. So I'm gonna put that in there. I'm gonna add a little bit of things at a time. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my tomatillos, add some of the juice in there right now. Do like this. I am gonna add, you don't have to add tomatoes, but I like to add it because it just gives it a little bit more flavor and texture. Throw some of that in there. I'm going to throw in my garlic, just like that. I've got, of course, Sonia's sweet and spicy. Now I have drained the juice from this. So go ahead and throw that in there. we're gonna use some, oh, I got my sea salt here, just a little, maybe a teaspoon, a half teaspoon, depends on your flavors. And we're gonna put the lid on here. What am I forgetting? Oh, well, I'm gonna go ahead and blend this up, then I'm gonna add my cilantro to it. So you can do this on a pulse or you can turn it on. I'm just gonna do pulse right now, it's gonna get loud. Look at that. Yummy. As you can see already, it's starting to look pretty dang amazing. Look at that. So we're gonna continue. Let me just pulse that a little bit. Make sure my lid is on. Oh, perfect. Now, I've washed and rinsed my cilantro. I'm gonna push that down. My little, and that should get right. It should get right in there. We may add more, depends on the flavor. Then we're gonna add lime. Oh yeah, there we go. But I'm gonna add the juice of one lime right now. I may end up adding another. We'll do a little taste test and see how this works. We're gonna go ahead and add that lime in there. Perfect. And the juice is coming out of that amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and add the other one here. I do want that flavor, the nutty flavor. And I'm going to add the rest of the tomatillos. So it doesn't look like I'm gonna need to add any of the juice, so you can use that juice for another salsa for another time. So you can easily bag that, label it, throw it in your freezer. Okie doke, so let's get this going. Alrighty, let's see. Super easy. Ah, forgot my onions. I knew something was wrong. Okay, doesn't matter. It's okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and chop that up. Aha, there you go. And a couple little more sprigs of my cilantro. That should do. All right, I see the color here. All right, beautiful. OMG, to die for, to die for. All right, let's give it a little taste and see how it is. Perfect. Perfect. Not too hot. Now you can use fresh jalapenos. For me, it's a little too spicy with that. So I go ahead and I use my Sonya Sweet and Spicy, and you get a nice little different flavor. If you use fresh jalapenos, you're gonna get an entirely different flavor from this, but I gotta do this again. But with this flavor, with this mix that I've got going on here, oh, and you can taste the lime. Happy to dance. All right, amazing. Now, what I want to show you, when I have this other little set of onions on there, I'm gonna go ahead and get some cilantro also as a garnish. Clip that off. When I go ahead and cover this up a little bit because it might splatter. Wow, look at this. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and add in additional chopped onions. That's why I put some of those aside and I kind of chopped them up smaller. So I'm gonna throw those in and kind of just lay them on top. Got my, what do I do with my cilantro? Go ahead and just garnish this on top. Super duper easy, super duper flavorful. Didn't take too much time at all. And look at this. Can you see that? I want to put it on the floor. But this is quick and easy, super easy. I do like the tomatoes in there. The fresh tomatoes give it some really great flavor too. And it adds some color. You have the red, little, red chunks in here as well. And that is it. Get your chips, get your salsa, get your movie going on, or get your margarita. Where's my margarita? I don't have a margarita. I'm gonna have to fix that. So I've got all of my things here. I got my chips, got my salsa. Go ahead and grab another chip. Try this out. To die for. Like I said, it's all to taste. You can add more salt, you can add more jalapenos, you can certainly add, more tomatoes, more tomatillos, but the blender does a really great job of chopping everything up and getting it just all ready to go. So that is it, everyone. Sonya with Sonya's Sweet and Spicy Kitchen. I would love to have you go ahead and subscribe. And before I tune out here, I want to make sure that I give a huge shout out and thank you to Jeffrey from Press Your Luck. He's got a channel here. He's an Instant Pot influencer here on YouTube, and he gave me a little shout out because I sent him a jar of the jalapenos, and he tried it, he loved it, and he gave me a shout out on his Facebook page. So thank you, Jeffrey. And also to my neighbor, Deborah, who saved the day because when I went to get all of the produce for this, I forgot my cilantro. So we have a neighborhood Facebook page, and I went ahead and said, can somebody help me get my cilantro today? Or does anybody have any that I can buy or replace or borrow? And so she came to the rescue. So Deborah, if you're watching this too, thank you. So that's it. We're gonna get that margarita going. I might even have an IPA. Anything, beer, margarita is perfectly good with this recipe, and I hope that you enjoy it. So that is it, everyone. Sonya Paz, Sonya's Sweet and Spicy Kitchen. Have a great weekend. Get your weekend started with this recipe, and we will see you soon. Take care. Bye. Also, before I forget, you don't need to have chips and salsa just for this recipe. You can use this recipe and make enchiladas with it. You can cook it over the stove a little bit, add it to any kind of enchilada, tostada, or any kind of a sauce that you might need something, a little different for chicken or glaze for steak, or you can even make this a salad dressing. It's so easy. Depends on the heat that you want for your cool salad this summer. So that's it. I'm out of here. Bye. I gotta work on this. Oh my God. I love cilantro. You didn't have to food dance. It's all good. This is a good batch. Definitely the lime. Yeah, I'm not eating dinner tonight. This is my dinner. It's all good. Bye.